Who does?
You
No
do?
input? No, supervises the checklist.
Oh, okay. Oh, and we
Oh, and
supposed
what-
to meet upstairs?
I didn't, nobody told me.
Not that I know, like, nobody said anything to me, I mean,
If they have to get their stuff, they'll get their stuff.
Yeah,
Nobody said anything to me today, so.
okay.
all right.
You have one of them? I don't know if you need it.
It's 6:30. I'm going to call to order the Tuesday, February 12th, 2013 meeting of the Tilton Planning Board to order. And on the agenda is continuation of Planning Board Case 1301. You see that smile? The site plan review for the deli and restaurant at 215 Laconia Road. Hi, John.
Hi. We're jumping right into it. I'm usually used to the minutes and stuff being approved.
Oh, we do
ours.
ours
No,
at
we
the
do
end.
ours at the end now.
Okay. Well, I hate to disappoint you, but for the record, do I need to speak into this mic? My name is John Bernard.
No, you don't.
That's what I see that.
Unless you want.
I felt it wasn't there for a second. I am here to say that I'm probably looking for a continuance tonight because of a couple of things aren't in that I need them to be in, and my engineer was unable to attend, which he was going to address the letter from the Conservation Commission.
Okay.
So I would like to have a continuance for 2 weeks. So I'm sorry to disappoint you all that I won't be flapping my gums here today, but I know, I'm sorry, man.
Wow.
I know, it's a little...
How are we gonna act?
We'll miss you.
What's
Well,
our next
that's all right,
meeting?
because I was gonna
Well,
tell you, we have a
We
letter
one for
from
February
Tim, Fire
26th, we got
Department,
nothing on it, but I'm
saying
not
that
gonna
he
be
wasn't
here,
gonna be able
so.
to get things ready for tonight.
Yeah, I got it. He emailed me too, so that was another one of the reasons
Yeah.
why. So he said it'd have it for tomorrow, which doesn't.
And
do
we
the
don't
same.
well, we had one for February 26th, but so far we had nothing scheduled for it.
And you're not gonna be.
And I'm not gonna be here.
What do you mean you're not?
Well, we don't have one for March because it's the town meeting, so now.
Well, we
it's
do,
April,
March
right?
26th.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you wanna schedule one for the the end of February, I'll run the machine and put the
Okay.
tapes in.
I was gonna say, I don't think that, you know,
Okay,
the
so-
fact that you're not gonna be here will make a
Okay.
difference. And that didn't sound right.
Oh,
I didn't
thought you
mean,
said.
no,
Usually I say something like
It
that.
doesn't,
no, I didn't mean it that way. You know that's not why I meant. I mean, we can run.
It's not easy around here.
That's John's
John,
job.
we're the only guy. Not that many guys here.
We'll miss you terribly, Gus.
yeah,
However,
She's be somewhere warm,
so
no,
we
will.
can,
No.
we
What is that
can
date?
run the machine.
26th, February 26th.
Alright, I'll make a motion to continue case number 13-01 for a site plan for a deli restaurant for 215 Laconia Road until February 26th at 6:30.
Second, all in favor?
Alright.
Aye. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I just got to see it.
I'll need you to sign a
That's why you
waiver
do
because he's
that.
getting
That's
at
why
that
you
point.
do that.
Okay, well, why don't you go get one right now and have him sign it while he's in front of you.
Okay.
You're gonna put it with
We
the
didn't know
blue
you.
houses? Is that what you
Yeah,
put
the
it?
blue house, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's gonna work out. We did have approval, I'm just talking here now for the record, but I did get approval from the ZBA last night, which is great. Hopefully that, you know, a few other things fall into place. We didn't turn it, what we did is we skinned the building and made it longer, made it 20 feet back. The plan's right here, we did it, this is what we ended up doing. It's funny, I spent money with the engineer, moving the building back here, turning it, moving it, and I had him come in, which is kind of why I like it. And then we decided the best thing to do is move it 20 feet over, and that they were happy with the farther setback. One of the issues when you turn it, it's, the engineers, they talk in these terms, they talk about traffic flow and how it goes around. We lost almost all the parking in the turn.
Oh, I know that, I pictured it in my head.
Yeah, you were, because you needed so much, and this is the,
Now, when are you going to have the, meeting with conservation?
already did.
Okay.
I mean, they have.
I
a
had
meeting
them
with
review the plans.
And there's quite a bit that they asked for, so I thought the engineer should speak to you about those sort of things.
Right.
Okay.
And he wasn't able to make it tonight, and then we found out about the fire department wanted to review the parking situation.
Right.
It just makes sense to postpone for another couple of weeks. Plus, I get to see you guys again. Huh?
Yeah, that's why.
Thank you,
you-
that's
You're
all
gonna
right,
make
I
it-
can't,
you're
I'm
gonna
missing
make it
you.
work.
My wife keeps asking me who this John person is, I talk about it myself, so.
On the toilets, not that, John. Okay, I guess
Not
that's
that
it
kind
for
of
me.
job.
You-
Yeah, it's not that kind of shit.
Yeah,
You
sit in
wanna
hot
start
seat.
that?
Yes, you do. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, the next is a conceptual discussion with Paula. Paula, are you Paula?
I'm Paula,
Hi, Paula. For the property at 18 Bettern Lane.
and you may have seen me here before. I
How do you
haven't been
pronounce
here
your
in a
last
while. I'm sorry?
How do you pronounce your last name?
Heiser.
Nice.
I wasn't sure, that's why I said Paula.
It
Now, next
usually-
time I'll know.
It usually gets,
Yeah, it looks like it could be really screwed
it
up.
could be
I
very
would have said
screwed up.
user, so.
Yeah, that's usually how.
High user. High user.
That's how I tell people to remember how to pronounce it. They're user silent.
Great.
Yeah.
So anyway, I have 18 Bittern Lane, and originally when we bought that piece of property, we were looking for a car dealership, and that didn't happen. So that was back in 2010, we sold the dealership. And we've been looking at it, you know, what would be the best use for that property going forward. Given that it's got some, you know, it's set back from the highway, it doesn't have a lot of visibility. I've had it on the market for, you know, some time. I've gotten some feedback from some people on it. And I think what I'd like to do is develop it myself. I've got a couple of partners that are interested in working with me, and we would like to do something like a multi-sport center. So it would be indoor soccer, like a turf field, indoor soccer, lacrosse, football. Probably a hard court as well, so we could do hard court sports. All of it set up so that it's configured in a way that you can divvy it up and have multiple things going on at the same time. We're also looking at indoor driving range, batting cages, like a full facility. Some community rooms, you know, if possible, like a cafeteria style concession, as well as a bar maybe that, depending on the feasibility study, if that seems to be something that would carry itself. So that's what we're looking at. It's a big building, it takes a lot of space. We're looking at between 60 and 90,000 square feet. The property is 10 acres with 7 buildable. With the permits that I have, we haven't looked at it in quite a while, so I don't know, you know, if anything has changed. But something like that. My understanding when I talked to Gus was that we're kind of in a gray area as far as the zoning for that particular use, and so what I wanted to talk to you guys about was, before I go any further with this and start spending money with the consultants and doing feasibility studies, is this something that we can do with the property?
Exactly where is this?
It's right behind MD Tractor, in that stretch of land back there.
That's a good track.
This was part of the site plan from before, it gives you an idea what the land looks like a little bit.
Run down next to Cole's, that way.
Yeah, if you,
You know, like empty tractor.
Huh?
You know, the driveway to empty tractor.
yeah,
It's
like
going
Coles,
beyond
you
empty
know where
tractor.
the, you know
Out
where
in
the
the back.
retaining wall is. It goes all the way down, and the Rogers property is back here, and then it goes halfway through the pond, and then about 90 feet of frontage here, and then, you know, it comes to where the gate is. Yeah. So originally, when we set this up, we had a 4-acre pad and a 3-acre pad, basically.
Well, I was
So
gonna
if we're
say,
looking
I
at,
don't
you know,
think
if we're
it's,
looking at a good sized structure here, we're looking at, you know, a building that's about 2 acres. It's a big building.
Maybe a dome or
I don't
something.
think
It-
it's, I think
I'm looking at
Special exception.
Cost wise, they kind of come out to be similar. So what we're looking at is, at the end of the day, depending on what we want to do with the building, what kind of functions we want to be able to host, does it make sense to have the dome or does it make sense to have like a permanent structure? There's pros and cons to both. And the domes have actually come a long way in terms of the technology. The company that I'm talking to is out of, well, they're out of Toronto and Minnesota, and they have domes in the Arctic, so they know all about snow load and wind. They also have domes that they've built in the desert, so they've got all of that stuff figured out at this point. The last dome that went up in this area, I think, was up at, it's in Hanover, part of Dartmouth College. They just finished building on it a couple years ago. And then there's a very big dome down in Milford, part of the Hampshire Hills complex, and it's about 94,000 feet. It's a big dome.
You're saying that you're talking about a building 60 to 90,000 square feet?
Yeah.
Now, when you were approved for that, that was only at 22,000 square feet.
Right.
Where are you gonna put your parking if you're going to have that large of a building?
Well, I think all the parking would have to go here and around back in this
Well,
area.
your site-specific that you got the last time, they wouldn't approve the parking back there. That's the only, I bring that up. I know
Yeah.
that you'd have to get
You'd
that
have to get
again.
that approved,
Yeah.
yeah.
John, don't get any ideas. One is gonna be sufficient. And he's listening like, oh, I could do
It's like I can just
Yeah. This
hear
is a good
the
idea.
wheels turning, right?
Uh,
I don't personally see that there's a problem with it. I mean, you'd have to get a special exception, that would be all. The only thing that I would say could create a problem for you is with Bittern Lane. Depending on the amount of traffic you'd have coming in and out of there,
Yeah.
you'd probably have to meet both with the town and with the state as far as access to Route 3 and the town, because I mean, it's not a, it's really more like a driveway, even though it's called a road.
Right.
So,
Yeah, I think one of the things I did ask about is as far as the usage, the bulk of the usage is like usually from 4 to 11 on these facilities. That's when you get your highest traffic. So it's kind of not during your rush hour
right,
in the morning, which is nice. And of course, if we have a building like this, in the off season, we would want to be able to host, things like, I'm going to say farmers market just as an example, but craft shows or dog shows or frisbee contests. I mean, there's all kinds of crazy things that people love to do indoors, and these facilities are very well suited for it. Brings people into the area, fills hotel rooms, they gotta eat someplace, so I'm hoping that, it can be a facility that is good for the community and, generates, some traffic for the other businesses in the community
What do you
as well.
see as your off-season?
Summer would be the off-season.
That's what
Yeah.
Would you be able to access the parking lots and use that access to get over towards Pizza Hut and all that? I don't know how that piece of land is.
When they put up that retaining wall, it pretty much blocked off any access that it had.
I didn't know if there was, I thought at another meeting there was discussion with going through MB, there's a gate on the other side of MB, but maybe I'm just confusing myself.
Well, there was, George Ryan owned,
That's where they talked about
The
having the
small-
farmer's market.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
George Ryan owned the property. I think Paul Gaudet just bought George
Yes.
Ryan's
Yes.
property, right?
Yes.
So at that point, those were attached at one point. It was all part of the same property, and then when we bought this, we decided we really didn't need that piece. That was an extra 1.7 acres, I think, and there's a huge elevation change there. I think it's about 12, 14 feet elevation change. So to put a roadway in there, it didn't seem cost effective, so we didn't go ahead with purchasing that piece at the time.
no, it's just, I literally just drove right by there and I was thinking,
Yeah.
I knew that this was on the
But
agenda, I was thinking
as-
the traffic coming out of there.
As I was driving up, I know that there's an issue with the lights because they're so close together. It's really not conceivable to put another light in there. But at that light, if you're coming this way, if you're heading west, the next light, could you direct traffic to the right coming out of there on a heavy day and have them be able to do a U-turn at that light?
make a right coming out of there.
That'd be
Right,
probably
coming
a
out of
state
there.
issue.
That would be a state
That
issue,
would
and
be a
I
state,
would
yeah.
think,
Because if you come out of there and you're going to your right, your next light would be, going into Lowe's and
Lowe's.
stuff, but there isn't a straight, how are they gonna make a U-turn there?
Yeah, well, that's what
Unless
I'm
they
wondering.
pull in and
If
then
they-
come
if
back
they can
out.
pull back, yeah.
Yeah, but,
and we've had congestion problems there as a result of the farmer's market.
Right.
So we've had some experience
Yeah.
with what happens in that area. when there's a heavy traffic flow.
Yeah, I know, when they get the farmer's market, it's a condensed event,
Yes,
so
yes.
it's, you know, and I know they don't have any parking there because they're parking on my property when
They're kind of parking everywhere.
everywhere.
And that goes down to one lane as you go towards town more.
Yeah.
It goes from 2 to 1.
Well, that's what I'm wondering, if, you know, if it's possible, and I don't know who owns that piece of property that's right there, is that Gaudette's that own that?
Across the street at
Across
the light,
street? Yeah.
that is good.
That
That's
one is.
Gaudette's. I don't know if that's an option, but, you know, I mean, these are things that we can obviously, we're gonna have to work through. I don't know, and this is something that'll come out of the feasibility study, I guess, what the traffic impact will be.
Right.
You know, I'm thinking for the everyday regular usage, I don't think it's gonna be as congested as the farmer's market.
Right.
If we had an event where we had, you know, a lot of people coming in,
Or you hosted the farmer's
or we
market.
hosted the farmer's
Yeah.
market, but at least if we hosted the farmer's market back there, you wouldn't have that congestion right up on the road.
Right, but I mean, I know where she's at now, that's a temporary thing from,
It is,
season to
yeah.
season, because he is trying to sell it.
Yeah, and that might be something we could permanently host for her.
Well,
The only thing I would say to you, why don't you go first?
I'm just thinking, you know, your peak time, you say is 4 to 11, but having children that play that sport, you have Saturdays and Sundays
Yeah.
that you have to play, and all day Saturday's your peak time, so I'm just thinking, if, let's just say hypothetically, the farmer's market was still at the Agway location, combined with that, you are gonna have a traffic issue
Yeah,
there
that would
on a
be
Saturday between 10 and 2.
Yeah.
You know, how many fields would you think you?
Well, you know, part of the again, this is going back to the feasibility study, we're gonna have to determine what this community can support. Ideally, what I'd like to do is basically build a full-sized outdoor field indoors, which allows you to subdivide that into what they call 3 regulation indoor fields. And if you build it, you know, one consecutive field, then you just drop nets where you need it. And if you've got little kids playing, you drop more nets, you know,
Right.
so you can divide the field
Right.
into smaller and smaller portions. And then you can have multiple sports going on at the same time. You can have some soccer going on, you can have lacrosse going on, you can have a lot of things going on at the same time. CrossFit training. You know, I'd also like to have, you know, facility for CrossFit and boot camp training, and maybe mixed martial arts, and, you know, maybe some, you know, a separate studio built out so that we could have, you know, if somebody wants to teach yoga, they can teach yoga there. I mean, I drive to Concord, which is 45 minutes, to go to a Bikram class, which is 90 minutes, and then turn around, get in my car and drive back 40 minutes. Like, it's a huge time sink, and we don't have anything like that in this area. So, you know, there's a lot of things that we would like to incorporate. You know, a driving range, indoor driving range in the winter can be put in. It's just a matter of nets, and then the batting cages for training for baseball. There's a lot of options that you can do with these things. Because it's a tight space, I mean, you know, I don't have acres and acres and acres. The building needs to be very carefully planned out. But you know, I'm working with a guy who's built 150 of these things, and they've managed them all over the world. So they know how to build a building. They know how to put it together, but he's not cheap. So before I get down,
No,
You're
I'm
too
just
far
thinking
down
of
the road with
traffic
him.
is, you
And
know.
traffic, I see,
Well, you know, if you have-
traffic and parking are the 2 major
Yeah.
drawbacks I see.
If you have 3, let's just say you have 3 fields going, you know, little kids, there's 10 kids on a team, there's 20 kids, there's 50 kids, so now you're talking 30 car, you know, just,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, traffic there on the weekends.
Have you been
Well,
down to
that's a
one in Bow?
congested area anyway, because of the mall,
yeah.
because of Demoulas, Walmart, you have a lot of heavy traffic shops in there anyway.
It would seem to me like for you to really have a good understanding about whether it's worthwhile for you to proceed, as far as what the town requires, I mean, you would be getting a special exception, which that is already outlined in the zoning, so as long as you can address those steps, you know, that's not like trying to get a variance. But what I was gonna say is, I would think your first step and the most important would be to work with DOT. See what can and can't be done as far as the roadways. If there's anything that they would consider, or, you know, maybe I don't know, I don't know what to tell you. I used to
Yeah.
say they'd never put a light there, but then I noticed in Franklin, they've got boom, you know,
Yeah,
right
one after the
together.
other.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
because they
So-
got a big grant.
Yeah, we got that
Franklin
big
got a
grant to
grant and
do
they
that
had to
back.
use the money and that's what they used it for. That's
Well,
why that is.
But that to me is going to be your biggest hurdle is what you can, what DOT might be requiring.
Right.
So,
Now, do you guys have any impact at all on DOT and with any recommendations? Nada?
Well,
That's
if
cute,
you could-
Paula, that's
If
cute.
you could somehow get access to Sherwood Drive, going out, it'd make your life a lot easier.
That goes
The
across
original
wetland.
intention with Market Basket and Walmart was they wanted all of that to feed the
right,
DOT's original intention was that.
but that piece that's on that side of Sherwood Drive belongs to,
Walmart.
no, doesn't belong to Walmart.
Oh, it doesn't?
Infinity.
It's Infinity Sherwood.
Yeah.
So you would have to deal with them,
Okay.
and
Is, well,
whether,
is Infinity Sherwood the company that leased it to Walmart?
yes.
Okay, I got it, yeah. Because they own the other half of the damn dam.
So anyway, no, they would be the ones that you'd have to talk to as far as whether or not you could get access over to Sherwood
Do you
Drive.
have, do you know how to get a hold of them?
We
I think
can
I tried to
you-
get a hold of them once before regarding the dam and I was not able, I didn't have.
I
any luck.
haven't, where the tax bill goes, it's not all we have. I don't have anything else, but I can look.
I'll look when I'm in
Yeah.
tomorrow and see if I
We'll
can
look, we'll
find
see
it,
what we can find,
see if
yeah.
we can find you an address that would
Okay.
work for you.
Mhm.
I haven't been, I don't really
Yeah.
get into the bookkeeping part of it that much anymore, but
A lot of the addresses that are on the tax guides are mostly for billing for those properties.
Yes.
You know, it's for the tax bills to go and get paid.
Right, right.
But I can look to see through other correspondence.
oh, what's that guy's
Another option is to look on the state corporate website and see if that
Yeah.
company name is registered with the state. And then
Yeah.
there's
So
an
it's
answer.
Infinity Sherwood.
Yes.
Is the name of the company.
Yeah.
Or just put a steam shovel there and see who calls it.
Put your road in, see who shows up.
Start
Somebody will call
That's
us.
a new way of planning and development.
Sometimes
That's
you
right,
just have to
yeah,
use a big
very
stick,
creative.
right?
Who came up with that? I wanna give them some kudos. Well done.
I was just saying, you know. That's how you find out how your neighbors are.
That's right. But anyway, to me, that would be your biggest hurdle. That and, whatever you would come up with for your lot, because you've got all those permits that you'd have to reapply for, because they've all expired, but
Yeah, we still have the wetland permit in place, the big one.
Is that still
that's
in place?
Mhm. Yeah, we got an extension on that, so that
Okay.
was good for another 4 years.
okay.
That was the one that cost all the money, and then the rest we'll have to
Yeah.
battle out, I guess.
All right, well, I mean, I don't see.
So how do I go about getting the special exception? It's just
You
a
see her,
paperwork?
she will give you an
Yeah.
application for the zoning board.
Okay,
If you decide you wanna move forward, I would say that'd be your first step.
okay.
Once you get, everything together, but I would say your big hurdle to begin with is the DOT.
DOT, okay.
Yeah.
And do you have a name for somebody at the DOT?
Well, it's
Besides-
district, Mark Morrow.
Mark Morrow is the director,
Yeah.
or the,
So,
or Dave Sylvia,
And Dave Rollins is over there,
Bill Rollins.
Bill Rollins, sorry.
Mhm.
Yeah, Bill Rollins is at District 3.
Mhm.
He's a really nice guy and,
Well, I'll take the really nice guy.
None of them are
well,
as nice
normally
as
he's
us.
the one they
though.
send out. He's like the newbie on the block, if you will, so he gets,
Is Dave Sylvia still there? I haven't heard anything much.
no, I don't know whether Dave's still there or not.
Mike Kimball,
Mike Kimball, he's
Yeah.
another road guy.
yeah, it's one of those two, you gotta get,
Mike
Either one.
Kimball or Bill Rollins.
right, it's either one of those two.
Yeah.
But that will get pushed up the ladder real fast.
Yeah. Well, he's really good at what he does.
Oh, it's
anyway,
great.
so,
Bill's really,
I got no problem with those guys, they're awesome.
Yeah. All right,
okay.
so,
So anything else, any other suggestions?
well, like I say, you gotta get past those hurdles and then once you're done with that, then that kind of will let you know whether it's feasible for you to go forward or if it's just going to involve too much cost to even consider it. Because they're the ones that will come up with their, as far as the
Stadium movie
roadways.
theater.
So,
Oh, what?
Yeah, we looked at,
Stadium movie theater.
yeah, And we just, if I have more room, you know?
Yeah,
Like a Cinemagic that hooks it.
Yeah.
IMAX.
IMAX, yeah.
Well, they have the IMAX and the Cinemagic.
But you'd run into the traffic problem with that too.
Yes, you would.
Absolutely.
And that's kind of the problem, being the last person on the block to get developed.
Yeah.
I'm kind of getting the short end of the stick, because everybody else got their traffic light first, you
Yep.
know? And,
Well, the other thing is work with Infinity, see if you can come up with something. And the other thing is with the other site, the Conover site, I don't know who bought it. It was Conover that developed it. Maybe back by Coles, maybe there would be some place where
in
you
the
could,
back where you
yeah,
come up.
and use that road too. You know, unless you talk with them, you know, have your engineers talk to their engineers, you'll never know.
Yeah.
There's a Kohl's management group, that's not the Kohl's, of the Kohl's store, but the other Kohl's management group that manages that property.
Is
So
it?
Conover sold it off.
Right.
Yeah. So, but I mean, there might be something there, I don't know, I don't want
That
to.
retaining wall looks like it ends halfway down their parking lot.
I mean, I know the retaining wall runs along there for quite a ways, but I'm not sure if it goes all the way to behind Coles or not.
But I think the way we would want to set the property up anyway is that the building would be at the front and the parking would be around the back. So if they came in through Coles and down the back.
Well, I'm looking at here,
Yeah.
and it looks like that retaining wall ends, so maybe that hill is sloped.
Very steep back there.
Is it?
Right, party
It's
people.
what, Judy?
Very
Very
steep.
steep.
It was about another 12-foot drop.
Yep.
Yeah.
Go walking back there.
You
So-
probably know the property better than I do then. I haven't been back there in a while.
So, but anyway, that's,
What do I know? You got some bird
you know,
trees
you
down.
have some, some things to look at.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it would seem to me like Infinity Sherwood, if they will deal with you at all, that would be the easiest route to be able to cut over to Sherwood Drive. And it would give you a light, to come out at, which would help relieve your traffic dilemma.
Right.
They can turn in and, Bittern, but can come out the other way if that were possible. But I don't know, one other person I know did talk to them, or, tried, but, they had a personality conflict between the two of them, so that wasn't going to go anywhere.
Gotcha.
So, maybe you'll have a lot better luck.
I'll wear something low cut.
Absolutely.
You gotta use what you gotta use, right?
Something
Liz?
Good idea.
John, you should try that.
I did, I got thrown out.
But other than that, I mean, the rest is really, once you get those initial answers for your, and get that worked out, then if, I mean, in my mind, that way it lets you know whether it's something you really want to move forward with or not,
Right.
depending on what your road costs are going to end up being.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be a big determining factor.
Yeah.
And if this plan doesn't pan out, we do have plan number 2, so we have another, that's
Yeah.
less traffic dense, so.
Right.
But this is what we're really kind of pushing for, I think it's something that the community needs. And
Is there a serious problem back here?
I don't think it's a serious wet problem so much as that we just needed to have that much space on the property.
Yeah.
That was
Looks like there's a stream that goes through there.
green.
There's a little driveway back there.
There is a driveway back there, yeah.
Butter up those people.
And the road goes right out onto, there's a road that connects right out there onto the main drive.
And I think that
Already
belongs,
there.
is that Rogers' driveway or is that a road?
Yeah.
It was some kind of old abandoned road. I don't think it's on the tax maps as a road, but
There
it's
is a road
stumped
back
and it's
there.
It
gravel.
looks like there's a structure there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
If
think
you look
there's-
right
There
here-
is a house back
There is a
there.
house.
There's
Yeah,
a-
there's a house here, but.
There's a pump house around that back road there,
Yeah.
Yeah,
so.
If you could get access to the back, that would be incredible, I think, but
yeah.
I don't know.
That would make it a lot easier.
Well, yeah, and in the back, of course, that's Rogers, back there, so, and he owns all that.
Mhm.
So, that gives you another option if you go that far back, so.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Is the group still looking at doing a sports complex in town?
Yes, in fact, they went to see, I guess that's something you should
I was
know
gonna say,
too.
that's some significant information.
Over on Autumn Drive, the gentleman that had the film place on Autumn Drive. He came in and spoke with us about putting a sports arena up there. In fact, he's even gone to the ZBA and got
A
the variance he needed. He had one already on the property, but this would allow him for an indoor. But he's just talking about one, he's already got the warehouse, it would just
Right,
be.
so talking about
Just
having
one field
indoor
and it's
field.
small. Yeah, small.
I also informed that there's somebody else looking to put one in on 140 also.
Really?
Commerce, yeah.
This reminds me of when those, storage places.
Oh,
yeah.
first came up.
There's one, there's 50.
Yeah.
We had
That's part of the
storage places
feasibility
approach
study.
us too, it's like,
Yeah,
really, how many storage places can you possibly put up?
I know.
Well, people
People
buy
hoarding
stuff.
too much stuff, you know?
They really, yeah, they should get rid of
It's
it.
time to have some yard sales.
Storage Wars Tilton.
Yeah.
So anyway, I hope we've helped. I think those are gonna be your biggest hurdles.
Yeah.
You know, those answers you have to have. I don't see, you know what the planning process is like with the board. There's a few zoning changes as far as we have the groundwater protection now, and we have an aquifer, but I don't
It's like real slick.
think that would affect you, no.
No, yes.
No. So that we wouldn't have to think about too much. Okay?
And if you have any problem, just get John to go with you.
Trying to go beat them up for me.
Yeah,
I wear a low-cut shirt.
yeah, that's good.
Tag team. No matter what we get on the other side of the table, we'll be good then, right?
Wear your tight jeans.
Depends.
Wear your leotards, John.
So guess what do I need to get?
You said you wouldn't tell anybody about
I
that.
was gonna say you look
All right,
really
I
good the last time I
won't
saw
keep
you.
you guys anymore, but thank you very
John,
much.
wear
I'd
your
love
unitard.
to.
And if this doesn't fly, I got another rabbit in my hat, and I'll come back
Okay.
with that rabbit.
All right,
I like
thank
that.
you.
Keep the rabbits
Actually,
coming.
John, I got a picture of what you should wear.
Paula,
Good luck
did you
to
need
you.
this?
Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry.
Did you need that?
Oh, this
Those are
is
yours.
These are ours,
Ours?
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Where's Ryan so?
He sold, you know, where the one skinny piece that he had left, where Jameson is, he sold that to Budette. Yep. Yep,
I got a picture of it, John. Hold on. Yeah.
so I have no idea.
Just gotta look at the tax stamps.
Yeah, see what the tax stamp is
Well, got to share another evening with you folks. Thank you.
on. Yes, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Sounds good. Hope we have good weather then. Thanks.
Yes.
Oh, this is true.
Okay, do you have
See if I can find this picture.
Okay, great, thank you. Yeah, thanks a lot. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.
Thank you.
John, I got a picture. Hey, John.
Yeah.
I got a picture I might have.
Okay, yeah.
Are you guys waiting to use this? Is that
Nice. See if you can use it.
That's what I want you to give me for Christmas.
Just one.
okay?
No, one for everybody.
This is the outfit you should wear.
You can't play favorites now.
That's right.
Is this being
The
paid
kid is
so I'm
listening.
glad you-
That's what you should wear.
Oh, yeah, perfect. That's gonna help me. I'm gonna look good like that.
Oh, come
You send that to my wife so she knows what to get me to dress up
I'm doing fine, honey.
like.
Bye, John.
With that, good evening.
Good night.
I will now, that was
That's all
one.
right.
You coming up to the table with us?
Good.
Thank you.
So you're almost done?
We gotta hurry, cause I gotta move my car, otherwise I'll be towed.
Toad.
Towed.
Toad.
Toad.
Is that something like a frog?
I think so.
All right.
Okay.
All right, the next order of business is approval of the January 22nd, 2013 minutes. Now, this one has revisions on it.
Yes.
A lot of orders for Valentine's Day.
had read these before we came. Has everybody had a chance to go over these now?
I make a motion, we approve the minutes.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Next are the minutes of February 4th.
Make a motion to bring the minutes of February 4th, 2013 to the floor for discussion and ultimate approval.
Anybody got a copy of it?
Yep, here.
Yes. There's one right there.
Everybody got one?
All right, I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
My question on these is, this meeting was posted for the zoning changes, and it went on to discuss invoices, et cetera, and that wasn't what the meeting was posted for. So that shouldn't have been
We
discussed
brought
at
up,
the meeting.
they brought up that invoice,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I asked the question, but I thought she also, didn't she have the agenda? Oh, she didn't have it listed there. I thought it was,
We were just, no, I don't think we didn't have any minutes or anything, it was just a
oh, I
vote.
know, just
Yeah.
that,
Just to vote on the
Yeah.
zoning
Yeah.
regulations,
Mm.
so that shouldn't have been brought up.
Did- I don't remember what the agenda said.
I don't have a copy of it. Wait, maybe I did.
Do you have the agenda for that?
Not with me, no, I don't.
Do you have a copy of it?
Yeah.
Did the agenda, I used to. Whatever, any other business.
Piece of paper. Here, Richie.
Yeah, I have it.
What does it say?
No, these are just the minutes.
Oh,
I don't have a copy of the agenda. And I don't know whether it said another business either, so
It didn't, it said to take a vote to recommend or not recommend the changes of the zoning regulations to place in the March ballot.
okay, so we talked about the other anyway, didn't we? Because that had been something that had already been asked for, but it needed to be done.
Yeah, I think you brought it up, and I had the invoice in the,
Right,
yeah,
because she wanted us to look at it.
yeah.
I think it was something generated to satisfy this that. had
Yeah,
that
Joyce
word in
had
it
given
that I
it
was
to
trying
us.
find a while back.
Yeah.
But
So why don't we leave it, and I will look into the legalities of it, and if it's not legal, when we meet the next time, we'll make it legal.
Okay.
But in the future, any agenda that you put up, always add any other business.
I know, well, this was just a special, we
I
were just
know,
meeting
but
for
you
the
still,
one
it
thing.
doesn't
so-
matter, put any other
Okay.
business, and that way if these
Alright.
oddball things come up, we can take care of them, alright?
Mhm.
So, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of February 4th, 2013. And I will look into the legality of the second question that came up to me.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'm just looking at, I just found the agenda. It's, a call to order and other business stated, and under other business, the thing that's
For
listed here.
February 4th?
Yes.
Yeah, but it was the posting, not the agenda, that is in question.
At what she posted.
But I think this is what was posted.
Oh, was that what was posted, because that's not what I have. Oh. Well, if that's the case, then we're all set. Oh, the other business was to vote on to recommend or not recommend a change, so I just had other business.
That's okay.
I
As
didn't
long
have.
as you had other
Other
business
business
there.
is
Okay.
fine.
Well,
Yeah,
why-
but we have on the agenda, not on the posting up front.
Okay.
Was it, yeah, what was was that the notice that you hung?
You know, I don't know, I'll have to, I don't know.
That's what that looks like to me, that's why I pulled it out.
Yeah.
Well, I'll put it this way, regardless, if we can't come up with a satisfactory answer,
I'll have to look at the one in the computer will have what I did.
but if depending on what the one in the computer says, if we have to bring it up again, then put it on the agenda for the next meeting. We will legalize what we did by doing it again in a public session. And, you know, so that it's all set,
Okay.
right?
Okay, Gus did call for correspondence, I'm going to now.
Excuse
Gus
me, I
did,
need to abstain from that because I wasn't here
Okay.
on the vote. Thank you.
Gus called Burger King about the trash cans, and they said that they currently only had one trash can in the parking area, but the manager said he'd look into putting out additional ones
Okay,
for cars, okay?
Yep. yeah, I would think they would have a problem with people, you know, just dumping the trash.
I asked them if you only have out one in the winter, or do you have more in the summer? And they said, no, we only have one. I said,
Do they have a garbage problem? I mean,
Well,
I guess the conservation brought that up last
Remember the
time.
conservation
oh,
sent
I
us a
know they
letter?
did, yes.
Well, they have not, I mean, I know, I go to Burger King a lot, and I know they have no trash cans. And I was under the impression, I thought there used to be ones as you went in on the outside, but after this came up, I looked and they're not, there's just the ones right on the inside.
Oh, okay. I never
So
go
we
to
need to
Burger
follow up
King,
and check.
so.
Me either.
no, I was at Dunkin' Donuts on Sunday, the one down towards Franklin, and the drive-through there, you know, just watching people, you know, dump trash out of their cars in the trash thing. I was just like, I was amazed at how much trash we
know.
have in our cars.
It's
But I can
amazing.
understand their reason of having one trash can, because
Yeah.
you gotta pay for that,
Yeah,
you know, you gotta pay to throw it away.
I know every spring, look at the amount of trash that's dumped out just as they go up and down the roads. You would get it too, I mean, I know, I get 2 big garbage bags full. Yeah, okay,
Okay, the planning board needs to review the contract, this is from Joyce.
yeah,
As a follow-up to the fact that we did say that, we needed something more definitive in terms of what he had done. And she said the planning board should review the contract scope of work and check off each of the tasks that have been completed to date.
okay.
So if we could put that on the agenda, Gus?
I can tell you, I heard from Mike Izzard,
Mhm.
and he has, he's going to talk to people he works with, and they will be sending us a new bill for just the work that was completed.
Okay,
And then we'll see
Well, I
what
think
it
that
is
would
when
be-
we get it.
okay, all right. And then we can either approve it or disapprove it, or question it some more.
Right.
The other is, this is in this, the zoning board of adjustment did meet on Autumn Drive, and that was approved,
Mm-hmm.
okay, for variance.
I attended that meeting. Concerned about traffic.
Yes,
All right, and this is what we just talked with John about. It's basically when they went to the zoning board, no certificate of occupancy will be issued until the parking area is complete and the fire suppression system in both the residential, commercial, and basement area of the building is.
No, that's Panulo's building.
that's Benul.
Oh, okay, all right.
And we haven't heard from him yet. so-
No.
Oh, okay, all right.
I just put them in there so that the
Yeah.
board's aware, but they'll go into their folders when they come in.
All right, then there's a source to Reba Red, if anybody's interested in it. And the, bless you.
Bless you.
And this is for Lakes Region Planning Commission. Is in partnership with several area economic development organizations, and they're in the process of updating their comprehensive economic development strategy. So if anybody wants to take a look at this, please do that. And that's it for correspondence. And I believe the next thing on the agenda is the master plan review.
I don't know if I handed them out before. I was going to show you the paper I wrote on recycling.
I thought didn't you hand that?
I don't know if I did or not. I can't remember, but I have a lot of them in my notebook, so I don't know if that's because you gave them back to me or I never handed them out. I'm not sure. So, just give me a second here while I go through all my files of paper.
Don't you have a recycling meeting tomorrow?
What meeting is tomorrow? Did you?
Oh, look at this. Let's just pass them around.
Spread these out.
This is a,
Hmm?
this is an old game over.
I mean, is it?
It's very treatable.
Well, yeah.
Very treatable.
Is this something to add to our master plan on recycling? So, huh? So anyway, if you would like to read through it, if you have any objections to it or add to
I
it.
know that I had this.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe I did. I mean, I guess you guys were really efficient and gave me a to go.
We recycled them.
We recycled the
Yeah.
Doesn't look familiar to me.
Kind of fits in with the Save the Planet
Right.
theme.
Well, I just, I know that we don't really have much of anything on recycling in our master plan. And considering how hard we're working to try and establish it, it seems like we should add it.
Is it single stream or?
No, they're still looking at single stream. Well, pay for bag. I don't know, it's not going to be single stream because that plan's.
Pay as you go.
Yeah, pay.
Well, that's not recycling, that's just charging it.
No, it's paid,
What's the difference?
pay as you go for your regular trash, and then we'll have recycling pickup. And it'll be curbside though, not have to take it in. That's what, the warrant article is.
Has Franklin done something in that direction?
Yes, they have recycling curbside, and they also have paper, but they have the single stream. And we will too, as far as everything that you recycle will go into the one bin, and they'll pick it up that way, but, the only thing that will be separated is just your regular trash, things that can't be recycled.
With big orange bags.
Are they orange? I don't know.
That's what they said at the meeting last time when
Oh,
they were
that's
at the
right, yeah, they did say
budget,
something
because
about
somebody
that.
said, well, I don't think this is a good idea, because how will they know how will they be able to tell the bags? And
Mhm.
one of the recycling people said, well, they're bright orange, so.
What's
Yeah,
the
is
town-
that, they like purple or
what's
something?
the town
same
seal
mention?
on it or something?
Yeah.
Blue ones in, yeah.
Well, the bins are huge blue things. I said, my house is blue and they're bigger than my house.
Well, the bin that you see upstairs is not the contractor they would go with. The contractor they would go with has big orange ones.
Oh,
Yeah, but it's all the same size. and then-
So they're the same size and everything, it's
Yeah.
just a different color. That happens to be waste something.
That's
They're
Bernard,
bin.
that's
Waste
Bernard up there.
Mhm.
The one upstairs is
Bernard, Bill.
Bernard.
Oh, Bernard, yeah.
All right, anybody got any comments about this?
All right.
The only thing that just stuck out was, it says number 6, creating new well-paying jobs in recycling and manufacturing industries, but is that really gonna benefit Tilton, because I don't think those jobs are gonna be in Tilton.
Well, if Bestway gets our contract, it'll be right up here in
Belmont.
Belmont, so it could affect Tilton, right?
Mhm.
So,
And
and
just affect us financially.
the first year, and don't hold me to everything I said, I do know that the warrant article for the first year is $87,000. That is to get everything up and running, but then after that, the bags that they sell, that money that's generated from that will come back, and so that next year, they wouldn't have to collect anything. And anything in excess they have will go towards our tonnage charge to bring that charge down. So ultimately, as more and more people start to recycle, hopefully, then the charge, the monies that would come back to the sale of the bags, and if we get anything back, we have some commitments from some of the different people who filled out the RFPs that the town could benefit too from, you know, some of the selling is some like cardboard, metals, things like that. Now, if that happens, then all that monies that come back in, of course, would pay for any new bags that they bought to sell to the people, plus the fact that whatever would come in that was not needed for the purchase of bags would go towards the tonnage cost. So that would, in turn, bring down our overall, because that right now is our #1 single biggest charge that we pay is for our trash. So hopefully, and of course, after I think this year, 2013, starting next year, the tonnage charge goes way up because we had been part of the co-op, and being part of the co-op, they kept the tonnage charge had been, you know, had been reduced to and kept at 66. But after the co-op, once that's done, then it could go up as high as 100. You know, so the more trash we can keep out of this, you know, the system, and by recycling, the more we'll save. It'll cost us less.
Why can't we be part of the co-op again?
Because the Concord was the main part of that co-op, meaning they were the biggest dealer and would have been the biggest contributor to the plant that they were going to build. But Concord backed out, and the few towns, the smaller towns that are still part of the co-op, we don't have enough between all of us to really make something worthwhile. You know, Concord was a good-sized city that would contribute, and they would benefit too, the most. You know, and the way the benefits were, whatever you put in is what you got back as far as your share of the profits. But for whatever reason,
And they reintroduced it several times, because
Oh,
I
yeah.
filed it in the newspaper, and
yeah,
the town fathers just refused.
yeah, Concord for some reason, whatever the political reasons are, I don't even want to go there,
Just
but
not gonna be
yeah.
part of it. Okay, so as far as the household, does everybody have to buy the bags?
Yes,
So like Salmonton, they had to buy the
Yes.
blue bags?
Yeah.
That's what we're gonna end up doing?
buying bags.
All right, so like
You'll
tomorrow-
buy bags, and then Best Way will furnish you with a big recycling
Receptacle.
receptacle. It's a big thing. It's got a handle. It's on wheels where you can just roll it out. You don't have to pick it up.
But it's huge.
It is huge. And
It's
but
taller
I
than am.
understand they have different sizes. So if, you know, like to say a couple living alone wouldn't need as big a container as say a family of 4 or 5. You know, so, but the one that they have upstairs, what they say that was, 65 gallons?
Yeah,
or
I think it's
something?
like 64 gallons.
64 gallons. So, but anyway, you would just roll that out to the road, and what you put in there as far as recyclables, there's no charge to you for that. It's only the bags that you put out that are regular trash that can't be recycled. And that would be, that's the bags you pay for.
Do you have
So
to
that's a-
separate your recyclables?
You just put all your recyclables into the big
I mean,
container.
like glass and plastic and
It all
goes
cardboard,
into
it
the
all
big
goes
All
into
goes
one?
in the
Yeah.
bin.
Okay, just
You don't
asking.
have to separate, you know, like we
Yeah.
used to, green glass, clear glass. You don't have to do that anymore, but it would go,
Okay.
you know, you wouldn't put it in a plastic bag, you'd put it in recycling.
Is that a done deal?
No, it
They
will
have
be
a
voted
meeting.
on at our March town meeting. There will be a ballot question. Well, no, I'm sorry, I take it back. It's not a ballot question. It will be a warrant article that will be voted on at the floor of the, when we all meet.
Right now, are they having a meeting about it tomorrow night?
Um,
Go?
Tomorrow night?
Yeah, I thought it was tomorrow night, wasn't it?
was asking you.
Yeah.
Where did you hear that?
Second.
No,
I
we're
got a
voting on
paper, I got
budget.
it in the newspaper.
You mean the recycling, because we did have a public hearing.
There's a public hearing
Yeah.
tomorrow on the budget committee.
Oh, well, the budget committee is having a
Public hearing tomorrow.
tomorrow.
On the, oh.
But we had our
Should
public
go.
hearing on the warrant articles last week.
And that wasn't a public hearing, that was just a public meeting. We gave them the warrant articles to look at, but that wasn't part of the public hearing. And yes, Joe was there and he gave an explanation of things, but,
Keep in mind that Laconia is going through the same process right now, so
Right.
there may be confusing information.
Yeah, there was
yeah,
some,
there
Yeah.
could be.
I read something about that in the paper too, they weren't real happy with what they were presented.
But so far, from what I understand, most communities who have gone over to this are happy with it and are glad that they're doing it. You know, it was a lot of hoopla in the beginning until, you know, you can really get people used to the idea of recycling, you know, instead of dumping it here, put it in here, and that kind of thing. But
It's
I
just, it
think,
takes a lot of room, I find. It takes a
I
lot of room
think
to
the
recycle
way
that
there's
house. You know, you
the
don't have it.
committee, I think what the committee has come up with would be the easiest for the people if it's curbside. You know, I know like in Hooksett, they started out, you know, once a week you took all your stuff to the recycle center and you went down and whatever bins, you know, you put it in the
That's what
proper
we do in
bin.
And that's the way it was in Derry when it first
Yeah,
started. It was a real
so,
pain.
but they just went to curbside this past year. So, you know, the people there are thrilled. They don't have to go to the dump anymore.
A lot of people in Franklin like it. I'm talking to a friend tonight, so we have 2 bins, you know, and roll
Yep.
them up to the sidewalk.
I think one of the things that came out last week was that it's gonna eventually happen, you know.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be a choice, right now it's a choice, but
It
We
is,
just,
but, you know, we're running out of room too. You know, and the more we can keep from putting in the landfills and, you know, even over there where they've been incinerating the trash, the ash pile is humongous now.
Yeah.
And that's gotta go somewhere, so,
We should want to do this for our kids, future generations anyway. We already screwed up the planet, we should at least try to clean it up a little.
well, look at our ancestors. I mean, where I live, when we moved in, when we started, you know, doing some landscaping and stuff, every time I stick a shovel in, it's like, they used to, you know, there was a reef.
Bury glass,
They
bury
buried everything.
There's the bottles.
And I go to
Monday
dig
if you
for
find it,
fence
there
posts
is.
and stuff, and
Maybe
it's
it's not
just
such a
full of
bad
all
idea.
this broken pottery and you name it, it's in the ground.
buy one of those little boxes with.
I mean, we laugh now, but my house, it used to be that the buildings ran around straight back, and then they turned and went over to the barn. And every one of them had big windows, and it's like this, throwing trash out. But we had a new well put in, and they dug on that side of the house, and when they went down, all the bottles and pottery and plates and bowls and silverware. Yep,
So they
so,
got rid of it, I guess.
yeah, they did. I guess they just they'd have a layer of trash and put dirt on top and grow more grass. I mean,
They didn't know that it wasn't going to just go away, right?
I think they did a lot that they didn't know. They dumped a lot of toxic waste that, you know, look at what they dumped over there.
Oh, I know.
They made their living on textiles and tanning,
Yeah.
and they didn't know any of the things. They didn't do it deliberately.
That's it.
What
They
we
just-
do
they just
now is
didn't know.
deliberate.
Actually,
Yeah, 'cause
Ernie's
we
was done
know.
deliberately.
Hmm?
Filling the Ernie's was done deliberately by the local scoundrels at the time.
Well, you know, these are the kind of things that, you know, our fathers did, but they
Yeah.
also didn't know better. I remember talking to some old timers that they used to take the used oil from the
That was
tractors.
exactly what I was gonna say. I remember
Yeah,
where I grew up. You took the oil as far back as you could on the property and you poured it out.
well, they
Seacoast
used,
used to paint those with it.
yeah, or they poured along the stone walls to help cut
Or
back the weed
they put
growth.
them on the dirt roads to keep the dust
Yeah,
down in the
yeah.
summer.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
I think this is,
Okay, so I'm going to put it in the vision statement, and I think also there's one other chapter that I will put part of it. I'm not gonna put the whole thing in 2 different places, but I have another thing for the vision statement, which is just a shortened, and then that will go in one of the chapters. I think the community, I think it's community or something, I know I found a place for it. And then I will send, after I add it, then I'll send those 2 chapters, whatever I, and the only other thing I was gonna say when I was reading through the chapters is on the one that the conservation did for us. I know we approved that, but I didn't realize, because I kept skipping over it, right in the beginning, they're listing and giving, you know, who did what as far as, if you want to have a section where you're recognizing, I think you ought to take those names out of there and put them in the front of the master plan. Right after you have your contents and stuff, you have a page there.
Acknowledgements.
Yes,
Yes,
under
that-
your
that's
acknowledgements,
appropriate.
and it, you know, and take it out of the
Yeah.
chapter itself.
Yeah.
That way you've got them all in the front together.
Yeah.
So that's really all I have.
All right.
So I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
Do we have to approve this?
Second.
Do we make any, do we have to do anything, act on this?
Only if you have changes, just, you know, that's all I'm showing it to you, I'll add it.
Skip something. Yeah,
Right?
Second,
second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
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 See ya.
And I wonder if I got told.
Oh, I have it in my computer.
Will you give me mine?
Toad.
There you go.
I thought we did, I got my husband all bent out of shape about it.